They've got us exactly where they want us right now. And by they, I'm talking about banks, politicians, governments, people who control the world. And if you haven't figured out by now that it's the banks that really control the world and politicians and government basically just do what they're told, then I guess you've got a bit of catching up to do. But what we're seeing now is the exact scenario I was talking about just a video or so back with getting lulled into a false sense of security. I believe that's what we're seeing right now with the ceasefire going on. We've of course seen stock markets rebound, risk on assets essentially rebound, and oil drop. I think it was about 15% in a matter of minutes. And I'm sure when somebody digs into the trades that took place right before the announcement, we're going to be seeing some pretty fishy stuff going on, which has been the case pretty much before every announcement. So there's definitely some dodgy business going on, but I guess there's always been manipulation. I think now it's just a little bit more blatant and obvious. But back to what we're seeing, I believe we're now experiencing a complacency bounce and just macro complacency overall. Now, it's still too early to say whether or not we're going to be seeing new highs in the stock market, but even if we do, I suspect it's going to be a rally on borrowed time where people are going to think, it's just business as usual, everything's back to normal. But really, we've not seen the elimination of all of the other problems. The problems I've spoken at length about when it comes to the AI issues and just the ridiculous amounts of spending, the bond market problems, the murky private credit space, and of course the war, because they're only just talking about a 2-week ceasefire for now. Now, that potentially may get extended and it may seem like everything's going to return back to normal, but because of where we sit within the macro cycle and all those other issues I was just talking about, I suspect that any good times from here are going to be short-lived because we've just been seeing so much volatility. Things just continue to turn on a dime, the sentiment and just everything that's going on. So I don't think that's going anywhere. And at best, we might be seeing an extended period where things do seem like they settle down, which is what I'm talking about when it comes to complacency and the wool getting pulled over most people's eyes. So that's basically my view when it comes to the ceasefire. But when it comes to the actual markets, trading and investing, short term, I think it's fantastic with all this volatility and the strong moves in both directions. Bigger picture, I'm still not convinced that it's a time to be getting set in long-term positions, or at least I'm not getting set in long-term positions for the stock market because of where we sit in the macroeconomic cycle. Now, of course, I'll have to change my view and accept I'm wrong if we begin to see signs of a new economy and the beginning of a larger bull market, but I'm just not convinced that's the case right now, which means any higher prices from here are probably on borrowed time, or at least that's just my view. And at the end of the day, I guess that's the only perspective I can give, but the charts are going to tell the story. If we see higher prices and volume continues to drain out of the market, it is really telling, because while prices are higher and there's the illusion of a good economy, there's less money backing it up. Now, anyone who's been around cryptocurrency for the last couple of years might remember me talking about the daily exchange volume and how that just continued to bleed. Less money was in crypto. Even when the prices were rising, we weren't seeing as much money in terms of volume and liquidity, which just means the rallies should not have been trusted, as it can easily see the sellers take back control and price smack back down, which is exactly what we saw. Now, the same thing applies to the stock market. Even if we do see higher prices, there's the illusion of everything being okay and the economy is fine, etc., but we know by studying the charts and analysis that it's just not the case. So I'll be covering that in detail on my main channel, which I'll link down below. That's the charts analysis and cycle discussion. So make sure you take a look at that if you are interested in studying the charts and seeing where the money is flowing as well as positioning. But that's all I wanted to cover for you in this video here. We have seen the ceasefire. It's great news for trading on the short term. Bigger picture, I'm not yet convinced, but as always, the charts will lead the way and we'll let the money do the talking. That's it from me. Wishing you more health, wealth, and happiness. Until next time, I'll catch you then.